Derick Dillard, the husband of Jill Duggar from the widely popular TLC reality show *19 Kids and Counting*, has had a unique journey that spans public life, family dynamics, and professional aspirations. While Derick is often recognized as part of the Duggar-Dillard family unit due to his marriage to Jill, he has also carved out a distinct identity in his own right. Recently, there have been discussions about Derick's career trajectory, particularly regarding rumors or misinformation surrounding him allegedly being a district attorney for the state of Arkansas, a position he never held. This misunderstanding highlights both the complexities of navigating fame while maintaining personal privacy and the challenges of addressing false narratives perpetuated by media speculation or fan assumptions. To understand why such misconceptions arise, it's important to delve into who Derick Dillard is beyond his association with the Duggars. Born on January 23, 1989, Derick grew up in a conservative Christian household. Much like Jill's, he attended college at John Brown University, where he earned a degree in business administration before later pursuing theological studies at Midwestern Baptist Theological Seminary. His educational background reflects an individual committed to faith-based principles and leadership roles within religious communities. Professionally, Derick initially worked in ministry, but eventually transitioned into real estate investment, an industry that remains central to his current livelihood. The confusion over whether Derick served as a district attorney appears rooted in several factors. First, the prominence of legal dramas in pop culture may lead some viewers to assume high-profile personalities are involved in law enforcement or judicial positions. Second, given the Duggars' extensive connections across various sectors, including politics, the idea of one member holding a prestigious title might not seem far-fetched. However, no evidence supports claims that Derick ever pursued or attained this role. Instead, his focus has consistently centered around spiritual work, entrepreneurship, and supporting his growing family alongside Jill. This mix-up underscores how easily details can become distorted when dealing with figures whose lives play out under constant public scrutiny. For individuals like Derick, separating fact from fiction becomes paramount, not only for their reputation, but also to ensure clarity about their contributions to society. As we explore further aspects of his story, it will become evident how deeply intertwined themes of truth, perception, and purpose are within his experience. The misconception that Derick Dillard served as a district attorney for the state of Arkansas likely stems from a combination of his public image, his affiliation with the Duggar family, and broader societal expectations tied to prominent figures. One key factor contributing to this misunderstanding is the frequent conflation of his devout Christian values with roles typically associated with moral authority, such as those in law enforcement or judicial systems. In many communities, especially conservative ones like the one Derick and Jill belong to, individuals who exhibit strong leadership qualities within their faith communities are sometimes assumed to hold similar positions of influence in secular institutions. This assumption may have led some observers to erroneously connect Derick's theological education and ministerial background with the legal profession. Additionally, the Duggar family's widespread recognition and occasional brushes with controversial topics, such as political endorsements or involvement in advocacy efforts, might reinforce these assumptions. When people hear about someone connected to the Duggars, they may instinctively assign them a high-profile role without verifying specifics. For instance, if Derick were mentioned in passing during conversations about influential Arkansans, listeners unfamiliar with his actual career path could easily jump to conclusions based on preconceived notions about what influential entails. Societal stereotypes also play a significant role in perpetuating this myth. Reality TV stars, particularly those linked to large families or religious lifestyles, often face pigeonholing into certain archetypes. The archetype of a morally upright man working in law enforcement or government aligns neatly with how some perceive Derick, a steadfast husband, father, and former pastor in training. Such generalizations ignore the nuances of his life choices and professional pursuits, instead fitting him into an oversimplified narrative. Furthermore, the lack of clear information disseminated about Derick's true endeavors leaves room for speculation. Unlike other members of the Duggar clan, who occasionally step into more visible public roles, whether through business ventures or media appearances, Derick tends to maintain a lower profile outside his immediate circle. This relative absence from mainstream discourse makes it easier for erroneous details to spread unchecked. Without concrete facts readily available, hearsay fills the void, leading well-meaning fans or casual followers to mistakenly believe he occupies a position he never sought or achieved. In essence, the false belief that Derick Dillard was once a district attorney arises not from malice, but rather from a cascade of misinterpretations fueled by cultural biases, familial associations, and gaps in accessible knowledge about his real-life achievements. It serves as a reminder of how quickly unverified claims can take root when intersecting with existing narratives about public figures. Derick Dillard's professional journey has been marked by diverse pursuits, reflecting both his deep-rooted faith and pragmatic ambitions. Initially drawn to ministry work, Derick enrolled at Midwestern Baptist Theological Seminary after completing his undergraduate studies in business administration at John Brown University. During this period, he demonstrated a commitment to serving others through spiritual guidance, which aligned closely with the values instilled in him by his upbringing. However, as time progressed, Derick began exploring alternative avenues where he could apply his skills while continuing to support his growing family. Transitioning from theological studies to entrepreneurship proved pivotal for Derick. Recognizing opportunities within the real estate sector, he ventured into property investment, a field that allowed him to leverage his acumen in business and finance. Real estate offered stability and growth potential, enabling Derick to build a sustainable career independent of traditional ministry roles. His decision to pivot professionally underscored not only adaptability, but also a desire to provide for Jill and their children amidst evolving personal priorities. Throughout these transitions, Derick maintained unwavering dedication to his core principles. Whether engaging in pastoral duties or managing investments, integrity remained central to his approach. Faith continued to guide his decisions, ensuring that each step taken resonated with his moral compass. By balancing practicality with spirituality, Derick carved out a niche uniquely suited to his strengths and aspirations, a testament to resilience amid shifting circumstances. The misinformation surrounding Derick Dillard's alleged role as a district attorney has undeniably affected both his personal and professional life. On a personal level, such false narratives can create undue stress and frustration. Living under the constant shadow of incorrect assumptions requires continuous clarification, which can be emotionally draining. For someone like Derick, who values privacy and prefers to keep his family life separate from public scrutiny, having to repeatedly address these inaccuracies disrupts the tranquility he seeks for himself and his loved ones. This ongoing need to defend against falsehoods not only consumes time, but also diverts attention away from meaningful pursuits and family moments. Professionally, the impact extends into areas where credibility is paramount. In fields like real estate investment, trust is a cornerstone. Clients and partners must feel confident in the integrity and authenticity of those they engage with. The propagation of incorrect information about Derick's career could potentially sow seeds of doubt among stakeholders unfamiliar with his actual background. Even if such doubts do not manifest overtly, the mere existence of misleading narratives can subtly erode confidence, making it imperative for Derick to proactively manage his reputation. Moreover, the ripple effects of this misinformation extend beyond immediate circles. Within their community, perceptions shaped by inaccurate portrayals might influence social interactions or business opportunities. people may form opinions based on hearsay rather than verified facts, complicating relationships and collaborations. Thus, while Derick continues to navigate his path with resilience, the persistent challenge posed by these falsehoods underscores the importance of vigilance in safeguarding one's narrative against untruths. In today's digital age, where information spreads rapidly and often unchecked, the responsibility to verify facts falls heavily on both content creators and consumers. For public figures like Derick Dillard, addressing misinformation is crucial not just for personal peace, but also for maintaining an accurate public image. By actively engaging with credible platforms and utilizing social media responsibly, individuals can help dispel myths before they take root. Transparency plays a pivotal role here. Sharing clear, factual updates about one's life and career helps build a foundation of trust that misinformation struggles to penetrate. For those consuming information, adopting critical thinking habits is essential. Before accepting or sharing any claim, especially concerning public personalities, it's vital to cross-reference sources and seek out primary evidence. Encouraging open dialogue between public figures and their audiences fosters understanding and reduces the likelihood of misunderstandings spiraling into widespread falsehoods. Ultimately, combating misinformation requires collective effort, underscoring the shared duty we all bear in preserving truth in our interconnected world. Joy-Anna Duggar, a member of the well-known Duggar family from TLC's 19 Kids and Counting, has always been in the public eye due to her upbringing within one of America's most famous reality TV families. The Duggars have long been associated with their conservative Christian values, homeschooling lifestyle, large family structure, and adherence to strict patriarchal traditions. However, as some members of the family began stepping away from the limelight or expressing individuality beyond what fans expected, tensions arose between them and their loyal audience. Recently, Joy-Anna found herself at the center of controversy after posting a seemingly innocent photo on social media that sparked heated debates among her followers. Many accused her of throwing her family under the bus by subtly suggesting she no longer fully aligns with their deeply ingrained beliefs. The image in question featured Joy-Anna posing alongside her husband, Austin Forsyth, and their children. At first glance, it appeared to be just another wholesome family snapshot intended to showcase joy and unity. But upon closer inspection, certain details caught the attention of eagle-eyed fans who dissect every move made by the Duggars. For starters, Joy-Anna was wearing clothing that deviated significantly from the modest attire typically worn by women in her family. Her outfit included form-fitting jeans and an off-the-shoulder top, a stark contrast to the floor-length skirts and high-necked blouses commonly seen on other Duggar daughters. This sartorial choice alone raised eyebrows, but when combined with the warm, carefree demeanor she exuded in the picture, many interpreted it as a deliberate break from her roots. Adding fuel to the fire were the comments left by Joy-Anna beneath the post. She spoke openly about embracing new opportunities and cherishing moments of freedom, phrases that resonated differently depending on how they were read. To some, these words simply reflected gratitude for life's blessings. To others, however, they hinted at dissatisfaction with her past and signaled a desire to distance herself from the restrictive environment in which she grew up. One particularly telling remark mentioned finding balance and living authentically, both of which struck a chord with those familiar with criticisms often leveled against the Duggar family's rigid way of life. Reactions from fans ranged widely, reflecting the divisive nature of this incident. On one side, there were supporters who applauded Joy-Anna for asserting her independence and evolving into her own person. They viewed her actions as empowering and saw the photo as proof that she is unafraid to challenge societal expectations, even if they stem from her own upbringing. These individuals praised her courage and encouraged her to continue prioritizing her happiness over external pressures. Some even expressed relief, believing that Joy-Anna might finally address long-standing concerns about the dynamics within the Duggar household, such as allegations of emotional control, limited personal freedoms, and outdated gender roles. On the flip side, critics were quick to label Joy-Anna as disloyal and self-serving. They argued that her decision to share such a revealing photo amounted to airing dirty laundry publicly and undermining the very foundation upon which the Duggar brand was built. Accusations flew thick and fast, with some accusing her of using her platform to gain sympathy or attention, rather than staying true to her faith and familial obligations. A vocal faction felt betrayed, insisting that Joy-Anna owed her success, and much of her identity, to the family name, and should therefore remain steadfast in upholding its principles. Others speculated that her behavior could lead to further fractures within the tight-knit clan, potentially alienating her from siblings or parents who still adhere strictly to traditional norms. Social media became a battleground where these opposing viewpoints clashed repeatedly. Threads dedicated to analyzing the photo amassed thousands of replies, with hashtags like #FreeJoy-Anna and DuggarDrama trending across platforms. Memes mocking the situation popped up almost instantly, while podcasts and YouTube channels dissected every possible angle of the story. Even mainstream outlets picked up on the commotion, publishing articles that explored the broader implications of Joy-Anna's choices and what they might mean for the future of the Duggar legacy. Amidst all the noise, questions lingered about whether Joy-Anna's intentions were truly rebellious or merely reflective of natural growth. After all, transitioning from childhood to adulthood inevitably involves reevaluating inherited beliefs and forging one's path. While some saw her actions as a calculated attempt to tarnish her family's reputation, others believed she was simply navigating the complexities of modern life while striving to stay true to herself. Regardless of motive, one thing remained clear: Joy-Anna's latest post had ignited a conversation far larger than anyone anticipated, shining a spotlight not only on her personal journey, but also on the enduring fascination with the Duggar family saga. As the dust settled around Joy-Anna Duggar's controversial photo, deeper themes emerged about the intersection of tradition and personal evolution. At its core, the backlash highlights the tension between maintaining loyalty to one's roots and pursuing individual growth, an age-old struggle amplified by the scrutiny of public life. For decades, the Duggars have represented a specific cultural archetype: devout Christians committed to biblical teachings, traditional gender roles, and an insular community lifestyle. Fans tuned into 19 Kids and Counting, not just for entertainment, but because they admired, or were curious about, the family's unwavering commitment to their values. In this context, any deviation from the script feels jarring, especially when it comes from someone like Joy-Anna, who once seemed emblematic of the Duggar ideal. However, Joy-Anna's recent actions underscore a universal truth: people grow and change over time, often outgrowing the environments that shaped them. What may appear as betrayal to staunch supporters could simply be her way of reconciling her upbringing with newfound perspectives, gained through marriage, motherhood, and exposure to diverse worldviews. By choosing attire and language that signal a shift toward greater autonomy, Joy-Anna isn't necessarily rejecting her faith or family outright. Instead, she might be carving out space to coexist with parts of herself that don't fit neatly into the mold created for her. This act of self-expression challenges the binary notion of loyalty versus rebellion, suggesting that personal evolution can exist alongside respect for one's heritage. The reaction to Joy-Anna's post also reveals much about societal expectations placed on women within conservative communities. Modesty, submission, and conformity are hallmarks of the lifestyle, promoted by the Duggars, and any departure from these ideals tends to provoke strong reactions. When Joy-Anna wore jeans and an off-the-shoulder top, she wasn't just making a fashion statement, she was symbolically shedding layers of prescribed identity. For many women raised in similar households, witnessing this small yet significant act of defiance can feel liberating. It sparks conversations about agency, self-worth, and the right to define one's own relationship with faith and tradition. Conversely, critics interpret her choices as reckless abandonment of cherished principles, fearing that such behavior sets a dangerous precedent for younger generations influenced by the Duggar example. Moreover, the controversy sheds light on the phenomenon of celebrity culture and its impact on real-life families. Reality TV stars often walk a precarious line between authenticity and performance, knowing that their lives are subject to constant judgment. For Joy-Anna, sharing a photo meant to celebrate her family inadvertently opened the floodgates to speculation about her motives and character. The intensity of the response speaks volumes about how deeply invested audiences become in the narratives of those they watch on screen. Yet, behind the polished images lies a complex human experience fraught with contradictions, compromises, and aspirations. Joy-Anna's situation serves as a reminder that celebrities, especially those tied to family brands, are rarely afforded the privacy needed to navigate personal transformations without external interference. Ultimately, Joy-Anna's story raises important questions about the cost of visibility in today's hyper-connected world. Is it fair to demand unwavering allegiance to a particular image when individuals naturally evolve? Can someone honor their past while embracing change without being vilified? And perhaps most crucially, how do we distinguish between genuine acts of rebellion and simple expressions of individuality? As the debate rages on, Joy-Anna stands at the center of a cultural moment that transcends her personal circumstances, inviting reflection on the delicate balance between tradition and progress. Looking ahead, Joy-Anna Duggar faces a crossroads that will likely shape not only her future, but also public perceptions of the Duggar family as a whole. If she continues down this path of increased openness and self-expression, she risks further alienating segments of her fanbase who view her actions as betrayals of deeply held values. Such a trajectory could lead to strained relationships with family members still entrenched in the traditional lifestyle, potentially culminating in a permanent rift. However, it might also pave the way for her to establish herself as an independent figure, separate from the shadow of her parents' influence. By leaning into her evolving identity, Joy-Anna could attract a new audience, one less concerned with preserving the status quo and more supportive of authenticity and personal growth. Conversely, if Joy-Anna chooses to retreat back into the fold, toning down her outward displays of individuality to align more closely with her family's expectations, she may regain favor among critics and restore harmony within the household. This route, though safer in terms of avoiding conflict, carries its own risks. Suppressing her true feelings or desires to appease others could breed resentment over time, ultimately leading to internal turmoil. Additionally, such a move might reinforce negative stereotypes about women in conservative circles, perpetuating cycles of silence and compliance rather than fostering empowerment. Regardless of which direction she takes, Joy-Anna's journey underscores the importance of allowing individuals the freedom to explore their identities without fear of condemnation. Whether she becomes a trailblazer for change or retreats to maintain peace, her story serves as a powerful reminder that growth is rarely linear and often messy. For the Duggar family, this episode presents an opportunity to reflect on how they handle dissenting voices within their ranks. Will they embrace diversity of thought and experience, recognizing that each member's unique path enriches the collective narrative? Or will they double down on uniformity, risking irrelevance as society evolves around them? In either scenario, Joy-Anna's saga leaves an indelible mark on discussions surrounding tradition, identity, and the courage required to forge one's own path. Her choices, whatever they may be, will resonate far beyond her immediate circle, inspiring countless others grappling with similar dilemmas. As the world watches and waits, one thing remains certain: Joy Anna Duggar's next steps will continue to captivate, challenge, and provoke meaningful dialogue about the ever-shifting boundaries between heritage and selfhood. The Duggar family, widely recognized for their reality TV show *19 Kids and Counting*, has long been a household name in American culture. Known for their deeply held Christian values, homeschooling lifestyle, and large family dynamic, the Duggars have captured public attention for decades. At the heart of this sprawling clan are Michelle and Jim Bob Duggar, who became parents to 19 children over the course of several years. However, as time marches on, another chapter in the Duggar legacy is unfolding, one that involves an ever-growing number of grandchildren. In recent years, Michelle and Jim Bob's grandchildren have begun outnumbering their own children, marking a significant milestone not just for the family, but also within the broader context of generational growth. This phenomenon underscores how quickly families can expand when multiple generations embrace similar values around marriage and child-rearing. For fans of the Duggars, it's a fascinating development that highlights both the joys and complexities of having such a vast family network. To understand how the Duggar grandchildren came to outnumber their parents' 19 children, one must first look at the foundational principles upon which the Duggar family was built. Central to their identity is their devout Christian faith, which emphasizes traditional family structures, procreation, and raising children with strong moral values. From early on, Michelle and Jim Bob made no secret of their desire to have many children, viewing parenthood as a divine calling. They often cited scripture, particularly Psalm 127:3, "Children are a heritage from the Lord," as inspiration for their decision to continue expanding their family despite societal norms that favor smaller households. Their commitment to fostering a close-knit family environment extended beyond mere numbers. They prioritized quality time together through shared meals, group activities, and collective responsibilities. Homeschooling played a pivotal role in shaping their children's upbringing, ensuring that education aligned with their religious beliefs while reinforcing family bonds. The Duggars also emphasized courtship over dating, encouraging their children to pursue relationships with intentionality and under parental guidance. These practices laid the groundwork for future generations, instilling a sense of responsibility and purpose among the Duggar kids as they grew into adulthood. As each of Michelle and Jim Bob's children reached maturity, many followed suit by marrying young and starting their own large families. While some chose careers or other paths, most embraced their upbringing's emphasis on building expansive households rooted in faith and tradition. Each new addition to the next generation brought the Duggar family tree closer to its current state, where the grandchildren now exceed the original count of 19 siblings. This exponential growth reflects not only the Duggars' personal choices, but also their enduring influence on their children's lives, creating a ripple effect that continues to shape the family's trajectory today. As of late 2023, Michelle and Jim Bob Duggar's brood of grandchildren stands at an impressive 25, and counting. This figure already surpasses the original 19 children they raised, marking a profound shift in the family's generational dynamics. Several factors contribute to this rapid expansion, beginning with the sheer size of the Duggar siblings themselves. With 19 adult children, many of whom are married and actively building their own families, the potential for exponential growth was always present. Additionally, the Duggar children have largely adhered to their parents' values, prioritizing early marriages and embracing the idea of having multiple children. Among the older siblings, Josh and Anna Duggar were among the first to start their family, welcoming their first child in 2008. Since then, they have added 6 more children to their household, making them one of the largest contributors to the growing grandchild count. Jill and Derick Dillard followed suit, adding 5 children to the mix, while Jessa and Ben Seawold now have 4 children of their own. Jinger and Jeremy Vulo, who reside in California, welcomed their 3rd child earlier this year, further solidifying their place in the ever-expanding family tree. Meanwhile, younger siblings like Joy Anna Forsyth and her husband Austin have contributed 3 grandchildren thus far, with more likely on the way given the couple's expressed desire for a larger family. Notably, the pace of new arrivals shows no signs of slowing down. Several Duggar siblings are still in the early stages of parenthood, with others yet to begin their families. For instance, John David and Abby Duggar, along with Joseph and Kendra Duggar, each have 2 children so far, but remain committed to growing their households. Even the youngest members of the Duggar clan, such as Josie and Jedediah, though not yet married, have spoken openly about their aspirations to follow in their parents' footsteps. Given these patterns, it seems inevitable that Michelle and Jim Bob's status as grandparents will continue to evolve, with the grandchild count potentially doubling, or even tripling, in the coming years. This remarkable growth is not merely a numerical achievement, but a testament to the enduring legacy of the Duggar family's values and traditions. Each new grandchild represents another branch in the family tree, carrying forward the principles instilled by Michelle and Jim Bob into yet another generation. As the grandchildren outnumber their parents' children, the Duggar story becomes less about individual milestones and more about the collective impact of their vision for family life. While the arrival of each new grandchild brings joy and excitement, the rapid expansion of the Duggar family also presents unique challenges that cannot be overlooked. One of the most immediate concerns revolves around logistics. Coordinating events, holidays, and family gatherings becomes increasingly complex as the number of grandchildren grows. With 25 grandchildren, and counting, it's no small feat to ensure everyone feels included and valued during special occasions. Simple tasks, such as organizing seating arrangements or distributing gifts, take on a whole new level of complexity when multiplied across such a large group. Moreover, travel logistics become more intricate, particularly since many of the Duggar siblings reside in different states or regions. Ensuring that all family members can attend important milestones, from birthdays to weddings, requires careful planning and often significant financial investment. Financial considerations add another layer of complexity to managing this sprawling family. Supporting a household of 19 children was undoubtedly demanding for Michelle and Jim Bob, but the demands have shifted now that their offspring are raising their own families. Many of the Duggar grandchildren rely on their grandparents for emotional support, advice, and occasional assistance with childcare. While Michelle and Jim Bob have expressed pride in helping their children navigate parenthood, the financial burden of contributing to so many young lives cannot be understated. Whether it's funding educational resources, covering medical expenses, or assisting with daily needs, the costs associated with supporting a multi-generational family can accumulate quickly. Additionally, some of the Duggar siblings face financial pressures of their own, particularly those managing large households on modest incomes. Balancing generosity with practicality is an ongoing challenge for Michelle and Jim Bob, as they strive to maintain harmony within the family. Beyond logistical and financial hurdles, maintaining meaningful connections with each grandchild poses its own set of difficulties. With so many grandchildren spread across various locations and age groups, it's easy for some children to feel overlooked or disconnected from their grandparents. Michelle and Jim Bob have consistently emphasized the importance of fostering close relationships within the family, but achieving this goal requires intentional effort. Regular phone calls, video chats, and personalized gestures, such as handwritten letters or small gifts, are essential tools for bridging geographical distances and ensuring every grandchild feels seen and loved. Yet, even with these efforts, there's always the risk that some grandchildren may feel overshadowed by their numerous cousins or struggle to form a distinct bond with their grandparents. Despite these challenges, the Duggar family remains committed to overcoming obstacles together. Their shared values of faith, unity, and perseverance serve as guiding principles, helping them navigate the complexities of their ever-expanding family. By prioritizing open communication, mutual support, and creative problem-solving, Michelle and Jim Bob continue to lay the groundwork for a thriving multi-generational legacy, a testament to both their resilience and their unwavering dedication to family. The burgeoning ranks of Michelle and Jim Bob Duggar's grandchildren stand as a powerful testament to the enduring influence of their values and the cyclical nature of familial legacies. With the grandchildren now outnumbering their own children, the Duggar story serves as a striking example of how deeply ingrained beliefs and traditions can ripple through generations, shaping not only individual families but entire communities. At its core, the Duggar family embodies a philosophy centered on faith, commitment, and the celebration of life, principles that have inspired their children to build similarly expansive households. This generational continuity underscores the profound impact of parenting choices and cultural practices, demonstrating how decisions made in one era can reverberate across decades. Moreover, the exponential growth of the Duggar family carries broader implications for understanding the dynamics of large families in modern society. In an age where smaller households are increasingly common, the Duggars' experience offers a counterpoint, highlighting both the rewards and challenges of raising sizable families. Their journey illustrates the logistical intricacies of managing extended networks, while emphasizing the emotional richness that comes from cultivating deep, intergenerational bonds. It also raises thought-provoking questions about sustainability, resource allocation, and the evolving definitions of family in contemporary contexts. Ultimately, the Duggar grandchildren represent more than just numbers. They symbolize the continuation of a legacy rooted in love, faith, and shared purpose. As Michelle and Jim Bob transition into their roles as matriarch and patriarch of an ever-expanding clan, their story invites reflection on the timeless interplay between tradition and progress. Whether viewed as an anomaly or an aspiration, the Duggar family's growth reminds us of the enduring power of human connection and the boundless possibilities that emerge when families choose to embrace life's fullest expressions.